Okay, so another trial and improvement question, this time to 2 decimal places. This is as hard as it gets. And I've also given you a really awkward equation, as hard as I can possibly make it. You're told the solution lies between 3.0 and 3.1, so 3.0 is going to be too small, and 3.1 is going to be too big. So there's actually no need to start making guesses. 3.0 we know is going to be too small. 3.1 too big. So the first guess that I need to make is going to be halfway between those two given figures. So guess x equals 3.05 would be a sensible guess. So take the left hand side of the given equation, and everywhere you see an x, change it to 3.05. Now you're going to be careful with this, you're going to get 21 lots of 3.05 squared. So you need to square the 3.05 and then afterwards times it by 21. That's what that means. Plus 17 lots of 3.05, take away 250. Now because this is a more difficult calculation, I'm going to do it in stages as opposed to doing it all on the calculator. So 3.05, I need to square that. Okay, and then I'm going to times it by 21 afterwards. And that gives you 195.3525 plus 17 times that, 17 times 3.05 is 51.85, and then I have to take away 250. I'll just put it equals over there to give me more space. 195.3525 plus 51.85 take away 250 gives us an answer of minus, and that's all I'm really interested in, to be honest, 2.7975. I want the answer to be 0, it's a negative, so that is patently too small. So x equals 3.05, too small. Okay, so I'm going to make a better guess. X equals 3.07. I'm going to try. Okay, so left hand side will be 21 lots of x squared, 21 lots of 3.07 squared, plus 17 x's, 17 lots of 3.07, and then take away 250. Okay, in stages, let's work it out. 3.07 squared equals, times by 21 afterwards, times by 21. That's 197.9229 plus, actually I'm not bothered by how many decimals are right here, it's the guesses that should be to 2 decimals if you're looking for an answer of 2 decimals, plus 17 times 3.07, that's 52.19, take away 250. Okay, so if I work out the answers to this, ignore the chimes in the background, plus 197.9229, and we get an answer of positive this time, positive 0.1129. I want it to be 0, so this time it's a bit too big. So 3.07's gone too big. Okay, 3.05 was too small. So our next sensible guess would obviously be 3.06. Let's go through the process again. Left hand side is equal to 21 lots of 3.06 squared plus 17 lots of 3.06, take away 250, equals 3.06, we square it, equals, and then afterwards times by 21. That's 196.6356 plus 17 times 3.06 is 52.02 take away 250. Work all of this out. And we get an answer of negative 1.3444, which now has gone back to being too small again. Okay, so you can see that 3.06 is too small, 3.07 is too big. I think you can quite clearly see that 3.07 is only a tiny bit too big, whereas 3.06 is much too small. It's minus 1 point something too small, as opposed to just plus 0 point something too big. So 3.07 is obviously closer to the real answer. So I know in advance that 3.07 is what I'm going to choose for my answer to 2 decimal places. But unfortunately, you can't just make that logical deduction like that. You have got to do this sort of thing. We know that 3.06 was too small. We know that 3.07, there it is too big. I have to decide which one of those to 2 decimal places is the closest one. So to do that, you do the halfway point, which will be 3.065, because that's like 3.060 and that's like 3.070. So halfway, 3.065, and we make a guess using that. So guess, if I can just squeeze it in, x equals 3.065. So the left hand side will become, just squeeze it in, 21 lots of 3.065 squared plus 17 lots of it, plus 17 lots of 3.065 take away 250. Okay, which is equal to, okay, 3.065 squared equals, times by 21, we get an answer of 197.27825 plus 17 times 3.065 equals 52.105 take away 250. Okay, so if I then work all of that out, 825, we get an answer of negative 0.61675. I'm not really bothered about the decimals. It's negative, it's too small. It's too small. Okay, so the middle guess here turned out to be too small. So 3.06 was too small, 3.07 too big, 3.065, the halfway point, is also too small. So that must mean that our answer lies closer to 3.07 than it does to 3.06. So therefore, I hope you can see this. If you can't, you can just hear me telling you the answer. To 2 decimal places, 3.07 is the correct solution. And there you go. There you have as hard a question on trial and improvement as you're likely to get. To 2 decimal places with some really awkward figures for you to work out. That's the end of this video.